Howdy, y'all, and hello, all. Welcome back to O State All Day. Yes, I'm in a car. No, it's not ideal. I'll get there. But I think you still might want to hang around a bit for this one. You ready? Will there ever be another Holliday step foot on a collegiate field to play baseball ever again? The reason I'm bringing this up right now, if you watch my Texas Tech breakdown, some of the analysis about the quarterbacks, and any of my videos in general, I want to say welcome back. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. The reason I'm specifically covering this is because there is a tie-in to all the recruiting types of things that we differentiate ourselves from other places, and how that, correlates to all the other sports as well, which is something that makes Oklahoma State University kind of different, right? So the Holliday name means something like the Sutton name. And, when my son's telling me or showing me all the stats, right, there's a few stats that he's very comparable to the Hollidays. And that's what's kind of got him as a 7 out of 10 grade. Now, Jackson Holliday was a 10 out of 10 grade. Ethan Holliday most likely is going to be a 10 out of 10 grade since he's already ranked #1 player in the country in the 2025 class. So he's doing all this crazy stuff early on. And he's also a decent amount bigger than Jackson, who went #1 overall, again, to the Orioles. He's 6'3", like 190. Playing shortstop, obviously he can play darn near everywhere, but, kudos to the Holliday family, even up to the patriarch, Tom Holliday, right? And definitely a big up to Matt Holliday and his wife. They have basically been a part of this Holliday production factory that's been going on for quite some time, and, it was awesome to see Josh. Josh actually played at Oklahoma State with his dad on staff. Going back to the Gary Ward era, guys, if you don't know who Gary Ward is, you got to do a little bit of digging. But Tom Holliday was his assistant coach. During that time frame, Gary Ward and Oklahoma State won 16 straight conference championships. 16 straight titles. I think that's something that may never get caught. I don't think it has. And if it has, hats off. But I know that's a record that stood for a very long time. The record side of things is what helps in recruiting. The way that we do this helps in recruiting. We have massive classes, especially the last few years. We're a team that's we expect to go to Omaha. We've hosted several super regionals. We've hosted several regionals. We've won a couple Big 12 titles just recently under Josh Holliday. Like I said, the patriarch of all of this is Tom Holliday. Tom Holliday is somebody that you would consider to be basically at the forefront of kind of what you see now, what Josh has been able to build at OSU. Guys, you look at the sidelines or the dugout, and when you have the opportunity to be coached by people like Robin Ventura and Matt Holliday and Rob Walton and Josh Holliday, and we had Victor Romero, who's a former player here for a long time. Justin Seeley's been there for a very long time. Rob Walton's been there a very long time, and Rob Walton was a huge get because he was extremely successful as a head coach at Oral Roberts University. So he did not need to come to Oklahoma State University to go to be a pitching coach, but the connection he has with the university, I guess, obviously it meant something. And when you dive a little bit deeper, and we've talked about the football side of things and how Gundy clearly has established this whole concept of the family-oriented type of recruiting. Heck, in that home run derby or competition I mentioned earlier, Jackson had 16, won the whole little competition deal. Ethan was hovering right around the 10 range, and then nipping on their heels right below Ethan Holliday, who's ranked #1 in the country in 2025 class, was, you ready? Gage Gundy. This whole thing is amazing. There's 8 Stillwater High players on the football roster. There's a couple Stillwater High players currently on the baseball roster. This whole thing means a lot, and the Holidays are a big part of it. Now, can we please, somebody, help me here? Matt, And guys, if the government ever needed some DNA to make a almost superhuman athlete, then clearly the Holliday gene has to be taken, maybe even especially straight from Matt. As I mentioned earlier, guys, can we just get one of them on campus to play, please? Is that too much to ask? They got another son too, so we're not completely out of the woods here. But yeah, you want to see all of them go first round, because they are kids that have had the capability and the ability to have access to the best facilities in the world. And a lot of kids, I think, would take that for granted. And, instead of using them as tools to legitimately become the best players in the country, that takes an insane amount of effort and insane amount of commitment for those kids to be able to do that. And like I said, Gage Gundy's a baller. The Stillwater connection is really cool. And the reason, the Holliday thing's so important is, Tom Holliday spent 40 years between assistant coach and head coach, 40 years at D1 level in the sport of baseball, coaching for 40 years at the D1 level. 26 of those years were at Oklahoma State University. He was part of 17 trips to Omaha, College World Series experiences. He was also part of and responsible for 2 national titles, including 2005 title when he was the pitching coach at Texas, late 70s. 78 is kind of whenever he jumped on the staff, and then he was even the head coach for a significant amount of time from 97 to 2003. And, it's just, he passed that on down. It was fun seeing Josh there. Guys, some of my massive amount of affinity, I guess you could say, affinity for Oklahoma State is the fact that I legitimately down there grew up on the campus. They used to do this thing, and I think they still do, but after like the 6th, 7th inning, you could walk up into Alley P. Reynolds, which now, what you're talking about is O'Brate Stadium, which is ranked the #1 collegiate baseball stadium in America, guys. So if you haven't been, and you're a big baseball person, put it on your bucket list. Don't believe me? Google it right now. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's state-of-the-art. It's got everything you could physically possibly want. I've even heard that it's more advanced than a good portion of Major League Baseball facilities. So that's why our recruiting is amazing. That's why we get the Rock Regios of the world and the Marcus Browns of the world and the Zach Earharts of the world. Speaking of, they play for Josh Holliday. And they get coached in the outfield and hitting by Matt Holliday. They get coached at third base and the infield in general and all over by Robin Ventura. They get taught pitching by Rob Walton. This stuff is absolutely phenomenal, guys. It's sad that they're so good that they're, going to make millions of dollars, and it's kind of, you can't be upset if your kid is that successful. But I will say, maybe, just maybe, this is an opportunity for Ethan to learn, how to master a sales pitch to his brother, because brothers help brothers. Clearly, if you look at that with the Holidays, right? Matt's helping Josh in the dugout. Tom is still doing stuff. He's been the manager for the Chatham Anglers for, quite a while now, at least 5-6 years. I think he started doing that 2017 range, right? And we've had a lot of Oklahoma State players that get to do that. And whenever you talk about those ratings, like the perfect game, Jackson being a 10 for 10, Ethan's in the 9 for 10 range, probably going to be 10 for 10 pretty easily. And I was telling Logan, being in the 7 for 10 range, the classification said potential D1 level and or a potential low draft pick. And why baseball is so cool is, even though it has the scholarship limitations, it's really the only sport that I know of. Maybe this NIL era will change some of that, and if I'm missing something or someone, please let me know. But to my knowledge, baseball is the only sport that you can pretty much go from playing college ball at the highest level possible to, in the summers, playing what's pretty much semi-pro ball against all the other top D1, D2, D3 players in the United States of America that are all kind of going through the transfer process or working on their craft to up their potential draft process. it's an insane amount of respect that has to go around. And I tell my son all the time, it's perfect to have those goals that you want to reach to, because when you get coached by Josh in college, and then you get coached by Tom, and what essentially is semi-pro, they play in the Cape Cod League. And what is really cool about the Cape Cod League is I'm pretty sure it's the only, or it was originally the only summer type of semi-pro-ish ball that was wooden bat only. So the preparation for the pro level happens at the Cape Cod League, and it's a little bit different than everywhere else. So it's a big deal. And he's been the manager there, Tom Holliday, since I believe like 2017. And we get those players that get to go through there, that get that extra amount of coaching. So if you do come to Oklahoma State and you get to have a hand in all the facilities and you get that level of coaching, the chances of you going pro are pretty high, right? If you look right now in Christian Encarnacion Strand, he's having amazing baseball stats. Andrew Heaney had a good run. The Lions had a pretty good run. Jordy Mercer, as I had already talked about, has come back after having a pretty darn good run. Coda Glover's making some noise. I've seen Colin Simpson kind of moving his way around. We've been doing this for a while. Should we have a few more trips to Omaha? Yep, probably. So, Josh, look, you got to think. He was really good to watch. Like I said, we used to be able to go in after that 7th inning and watch for free. It was cool when they'd go 11, 12 innings. Probably not for them, but for us, it was awesome. And then, he tried his hand. He got drafted by the Blue Jays, played a couple of years, kind of bounced around semi-pro, and then he became assistant coach. And then, after he became an assistant coach in 2001, he made stops at NC State. Obviously, we stole him from Vandy. He was at Arizona State for a little bit, Georgia Tech for a little bit. And then he's been at Oklahoma State since, I think, 2013. I know 2014, he won Big 12 Coach of the Year. He's been to Omaha. We've had super regionals. We've had regionals. He's definitely the real deal. I mean, heck, he's won 2 Big 12 titles for us. Could we have won more? Yeah. I mean, the talent level is insane. But we still somehow can't get maybe Ethan. Come on. Help me out. But you have Jackson going number 1. It's absolutely amazing. That factory they've built is great. I mean, so the bloodline thing, obviously I've gone into some of Tom. Yeah, Josh has done a lot for the university. His record is 362 wins and like 170 losses. It's amazing. Yeah, 362. It might be 197, maybe that. 197 losses. Yeah, 362 wins, 197 losses. That's phenomenal. And, again, the coaching that you're getting it's astronomical. The level of coaching they're getting at the facilities they get to have them in. And the why the bloodline's huge for those who don't know. Yeah. Not only did Jackson skip going to Oklahoma State and went straight to the pros, so did Matt. And from what I've dug up here and there, he would have been a 1st or 2nd rounder. But the common consensus was he was probably going to OSU because his dad was there. And, Gary Ward was such a legend. And his brother was there. But he ended up, again, going straight to the pros in the 7th round instead of the 1st or 2nd due to that little bout of confusion for everybody involved. And again, Ethan looks like he's probably going to be a 1st rounder too. This whole thing we're doing, it attaches to every single sport. I've talked about, when the Boone twins both came and we got Thompson back and Avery Anderson came back and the way that Boynton stood up for his team last year during all that NCAA horse manure. It softball. Kenny Gajewski played baseball at OU, the University of Oklahoma. And he's already developed darn near legendary status in Stillwater, Oklahoma as the Cowgirl softball head coach. And it looks genuine. It looks like he's beyond bought in because he's got the team to buy in. Did anyone ever think there'd be a day that, like, if you're anything like me, that you're so obsessed with women's softball, you're checking all the stats and watching the games on multiple devices? to watch OSU baseball and softball at the same time. Like, I don't want to miss softball. And it started, for me, honestly, since Sam Chow. Well, Gajewski's been able to kind of build all that. Gajewski's almost on the Sandy Fisher level already. Guys, he really, really is. The Goliath in softball is stereotypically OU. They're like the Alabama for women's softball. But, you know, we're right there. We're nipping at the heels. We've made a massive name for us in the transfer route because of the way it's all run. The way that you can get an experience in Stillwater that you maybe can't get anywhere else. This bloodline thing, man, if we could have a holiday for every sport, we'd be set. Well, again, the comparisons are all over. Not only from the family aspect, like having the Green Twins on football, and having Trayson and Tylen Wallace. Trayson's still on staff. Having Rylan McCorders on the team. Artie McCorders was hands down, no doubt, my favorite Cowboy to ever watch on the field. Barry, unfortunately, was a little for my time as far as, you know, growing up, so I didn't get to see him live. I got to see him with the Lions plenty. Watching Thanksgiving NFL football with the family, that was the Barry Sanders show, a large portion of the time. And Barry Sanders Jr. even came back for a season. And Kenyatta Wright, he's around a lot. Both of his sons are on the team. Heck, we had to steal Solomon, who's a legit recruit from Arkansas. And Elijah, he has a pretty good film on him too. This whole thing is going. And then you got Gunnar Gundy, obviously. We've got some brothers that are over at the cornerback position. Jabbar Muhammad is cousins to A.J. Green. We've got J.D. Walsh on staff, as I'd mentioned. We've got Greg Richmond on staff, as I'd mentioned. Our Polynesian connection and that pipeline has been established at a phenomenal clip because of these people that we're bringing back. We're doing it in basketball. We've got, obviously, another Sutton on staff with Boynton. All of this stuff means something. You got the Holliday family coming to help run stuff at Oklahoma State University. This is a very, very, very fun time, and like I said, that bloodline thing. Guys, if you don't remember Matt, because he did skip going to OSU to go pro, he was drafted by the Rockies, and he was putting up pretty monster numbers with the Rockies, but there was some speculation that it was due to the altitude. That's why he's jacking all these bombs and putting up big-time numbers. But I think really, if you look at it, it's not the truth, because he helped win a World Series title with the Cardinals in 2011. And in that season, he went on an absolute tear. I think he batted 435. 435 was his batting average that season of 2011. And he was only the 5th player in the history of the Cardinals organization or Major League Baseball to have over 30 home runs, driving over 80 runs, 75 RBIs, had 110 hits, or something around that range. Guys, he was, I know he's 5th all time, and he did all that for 9 consecutive years. So that's why he's in the Cardinal Hall of Fame. 9 years straight of that insane amount of numbers. It's just, I know he had, 2,096 hits in the major leagues. He was just shy of 3,000 hits. And he was in the mid 350s range in home runs as well. Obviously, you guys Google, double check me on these, but I'm pretty confident. But that bloodline thing, it's just almost too good. It's so amazing that you can come back and help. It's so amazing that he's helped us bring in these massive classes. It's so amazing that him and his wife are like, this superhuman production type of factory. It's so fun to be around. It really is. Which is why Oklahoma State is my son's dream school, right? He does have a couple trips planned, like we get to go up to East Lansing. He's got a little campus thing to check out, and baseball camp for the Spartans. Xavier University's pitching coach has been in communication for a while. He's since gone to Baylor, but Logan's probably still going to do the Xavier camps. He's probably going to do some of the Baylor camps. He's got something similar set up with Mizzou, and we're going to go check out the campus and stuff there as well. And his dream is to get to this level. And I love that he wants to accomplish his dream by chasing after these numbers that these kids are putting up that are with a legendary family that is very deeply rooted in Oklahoma State, just like football, just like basketball, just like softball. Soccer's been, amazing to watch. Cross country, I know everybody's not a big cross country fan. Heck, equestrian's even fun if you're an Oklahoma State fan. And now football is fun. If you look at the OU sidelines and you look at our sidelines, night and day difference. The confusion that they seem to have at the moment is very fixable. And hear me out. OU fans are about to get livid, right? So if I've drawn a lot of you in, I appreciate you sticking around. Please listen. If you're trying to do things to some degree like we have done them, and don't say, oh, throw your hands up, and that's crazy, because you brought back the prodigal type of stepson in Brent Venables, because he was there when y'all won your national championship. He was there from the 99-2000 type of turnover. He was there having phenomenal defensive statistics for quite a long time. His last few years was kind of an odd scenario, and then they ended up bringing in Mike Stoops. But this whole thing that we've done is obviously very successful. And if you're trying to do the same thing and you're patient with it, probably going to work. Or you can just be like Texas and Texas A&M and just throw money at things and hope that equals the same wins and losses scenario. When you do things, in my opinion, just for money, you lose the ability to maximize what baseball has maximized, which to me it's my 3 R's. If Matt Holliday and that whole family basically has set the precedence for being able to make this thing a replication, right? The process of replication. It obviously has something to do with genetics, because after you kind of jump from there, then you're talking about relevance. So you're going from the first R obviously is replicate. Second R obviously is relevance. The third R, you ready, is revelation. If you have all 3 of those, the ability to replicate, right, the ability to transfer it to be something that's completely relevant to whatever you're trying to achieve, then you can have the revelation of continued success, that it's consistent, right? So if you think about it from all of those perspectives, what we're doing works. Oh, you maybe should just see if that's something that they're willing to egotistically be able to do, because obviously it took Dundee like 15 years to build this whole thing up, right? So guys, keep tuning in, right? Because these comps and everything are going to continue to come. It's what I love doing. It's basically my getaway. And if you have any questions, comments, if I'm missing players, if I'm missing something, if you want me to deep dive into something it's majorly specific, let me know. If you saw one of my last videos, you heard about my computer or laptop literally smoking, right? It made this buzzing noise, plugged in, and then it started smoking. Not good. And then literally the next day, my phone fell in the dog bowl, the water dog bowl, off of the island in the kitchen. So that's why we're doing this car video. I had to kind of finagle the audio stuff to get this thing rocking and rolling. I know the audio is probably not going to be the greatest thing in the world, but I appreciate you tuning in, guys. Keep stopping by. Keep stopping by, and we're going to just keep diving in. My son is doing a little report because he likes the channel. He likes the way it's going. He does like the professional business aspect that's kind of getting ready to keep rolling in. He focuses every day on trying to, again, be part of that replication and relevance and revelation process. It's big for especially the sport of baseball with the scholarship limitations. It takes a different mindset. It takes a different amount of time. He's at a good spot, and I'm very thankful for not only the Holidays, but for the Gundys, for the Boyingtons, for the Gieskies. And Dave Smith has been at OSU forever. The equestrian coach, sorry, I forget his name at the moment, he was there forever. But when you're chasing excellence, and you know it means something that's a little bit more than a couple $1 million. A couple $1 million ain't really the spot. But if you're getting top 5 pick anyways, it just means that what we have there works from a facility perspective, from a coaching perspective. You can't sit here and tell me that those coaches can teach these two boys to both go in most likely the first round, and Matt should have gone in the first round, that something in that isn't just a repeatable process. Just like the other sports that I've been mentioning. Guys, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you dealing with this little situation I got here. I did want to say, when I was digging through this old phone, it's crazy what you look back and see. I saw a video of me in the hospital. I was having a hoot of a time. So I think I was all hopped up on IV Mountain Dew. And I think, the participation I want to see grow a little bit more. Appreciate all the comments and everything that have been coming in. But I want to say, let's get 15 likes. Or no, not 15 likes. Well, yeah, no, we'll do 15 likes. That's fine. Aim small, miss small, right? We'll do 15 likes. If we do 15 likes, I'll put that ridiculous hospital IV video of me just dancing and singing and having a good old time. So, appreciate you stopping by. God bless. Go Pokes. Go Holidays. Let's try to reel in Ethan here, guys. We'll figure this thing out. NIL era, right? Right? God bless. Go Pokes. Catch you on down the line.